Josh Holly. Y'all remember the one that was running,
Oh
running
yeah, him.
him, the one
Yeah.
that was running
On
during
Jane 6, who was
on
scared.
J6. He was
Yeah.
scared. He was hauling butt, wasn't he? He
Yeah.
was
He tried to talk
knees,
disrespectful
chest to
to
knees.
our
Yeah.
SCOTUS, Miss Jackson. I remember him. I never forget him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's begging for FEMA help.
Oh, Josh
Oh,
needs some help.
Josh. I'm sorry. But your president that you voted for and you've lied for 10 years and all that good stuff. Your homeboy, your president, he's gutted FEMA. There,
Mm.
there is no more FEMA. I'm just gonna say it. I'm just gonna say it. Where is the money, LaShandra? Where's the money?
Have y'all
Because
looked it up yet? Y'all got to go to TikTok to
y'all
find
gotta
that
go to
video so
TikTok and
y'all
look it
can see
up.
what we talking about. It's funny.
Where is the money? You've gutted. Doge has come
It's
in and gutted
gone.
it. Hey, it's gone. Somebody check Frumpy Dump's bank account. Um,
Y'all gonna have to start rebuilding. Get out there,
yeah,
get you some wood and some
cut down
nails,
some trees. I don't know, but
timber,
more than that, we
lumberjacks.
may joke about it, but it's really messed up because there's so
It's
many
messed
people
up.
who
In
really
the
and truly need assistance, and we may joke about it, but and make light of it to try and put a little humor on it, but it's really no laughing matter. People have lost lives, have lost livelihoods, have lost businesses, and it's due to not under their own hands. It's Mother Nature, and the best that they can say is they're begging the president to get. He's not gonna give y'all no money. Ask Sarah Huckabee. Ask her. She's still waiting on it. Wait on it.
Is that Missouri? I think I see T. Wiz
Missouri
said
is from
he's
yeah,
Missouri, right?
yeah, St. Louis, and there's little counties, little cities in there that need the assistance.
I did a quick Google search just because, like you said, we don't want to make fun, but 58% voted red. 58.5% cast their vote for him.
You get what you get and you don't have a fit. We're going to take a quick commercial break. You're listening to Our Plugs, the community connection on WKRA 92.7, The Change. We'll be right back right after this commercial.
Hey guys, yes, this is my nonprofit, Carter's Caring Hands. And what my nonprofit does, we give fresh food boxes to those families in need that's struggling to keep food on their tables. We also go out into the unhoused community, give out care bags here in the Kalamazoo, Michigan area. So if you'd like to donate to the cause, please go to www.carterscaringhands.com and donate whatever you can, so we together can uplift those families that's struggling to keep food on their tables. Highly appreciated. God bless.
Let's be real. Being a woman means juggling everything: careers, families, goals, and somehow our health ends up last on the list. But what if your wellness came first? At Nutrition You Design, we believe healthy living shouldn't be complicated. From custom meal plans to one-on-one coaching and specialized lab testing, we're here to help you fuel your body and feel amazing every day. It's not about dieting, it's about thriving. It's about energy, balance, confidence, you. So if you're ready to feel stronger, healthier, and in control of your nutrition, let's do this together. Contact Nutrition You Design today and design a healthier you.
.saysomething.biz, and let's say something together.
Opame Simplistic Beauty is hair care and skincare in a bottle. Take a quick survey and let us design your own formula. Go to ourplugs.com, look for Opame Simplistic Beauty, and we can get your formula out to you as soon as possible. We hope to hear from you soon. Have a great day. And we are back. Once again, you're listening to Our Plugs, the community connection on WKRA 92.7, The Change. I've got another story I wanted to bring up really quick. Let's see. Two more stories, actually. I'm going to start with Elon Musk. Elon Muskie, your supercomputer is choking the folks in Boxtown, Tennessee. we're going to need you to clean that up and wrap it up. Go and get your stuff, get on out of there. You're trying to, I get it. You want to be the first in the AI and all this, that, and the third. Go find you an island and put it on an island. You are making people sick with your pollutants, and it's not fair. And if it were me in my neighborhood, I would walk around and do some kind of petition, and then get an attorney involved and maybe do a class action lawsuit. That's just me. That's just me. No, no, allegedly, this is just my opinions, opinions of DJ Kitty from Our Plugs, the Community Connection. That's what I would do. That's what I would do.
Sounds good to me.
Sounds good to me too. And my last story, I want to give a shout out to Bonita Billings from Houston, Texas. She's actually in Missouri City, Texas. She's made the news that we review and report on for her warmth and community service through wine, good music, and at her establishment is Bee's Wine Bar. And that is exactly where myself and Miss Morningstar met. And it's a beautiful little establishment. They have great bands, and it's really laid back. And just want to give her a shout out. She made the news.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Bonita.
So beautiful establishment. Go in there. It was well put together in there. So come visit H-Town. Check out Bee's Wines Lounge.
Yes, please do. So that is all that I have as far as news you can use. Really,
and let me say this before we pull up our guests. T-Wiz was mentioning that those areas that were hit by the tornadoes were Democratic areas. So let's send a prayer out to them. I didn't know that, and I want to apologize if I offended anybody, because we don't care about MAGA. We don't, but we do care about our fellow Democrats. We want to make sure they safe, and so if anybody can give any kind of help to them or want to donate to them, connect with somebody there, send out your prayers and everything to them, and let's help them. That's about community. That's when the community needs to get together, because Trump is not going to help them.
No, those people are on their own, and it's a sad situation.
And I hope they have insurance and stuff like that will come through, but that takes a while. So in the meantime, people are going to need things. So
yes, and if anyone knows of any type of drives that they're doing, please send us a message.
Send it.
Send it to us. Send it to sales@ourplugs.com. SALES @ourplugs.com. That way we can assist in any way that we can. And I want to say a special shout out to our members out there on YouTube that are conversating with us. We really appreciate you guys joining us and having the discussion. You make it worth our while, and we can't thank you enough for consistently showing up. So thank you so very much.
Right.
So today's topic is about domestic violence, and with Diddy and all this mess that's in the air, I think we all think that it's important that we speak with our young ladies, and in some instances young men, who are dealing with domestic violence. It's real. And I don't know anyone who hasn't dealt with domestic violence, whether they stayed or left. I don't know a single soul who hasn't. So it's something that we actually need to talk about and stop thinking that it's taboo to bring it out in the open. I think that this situation with Diddy and Cassie pretty much pulled off the blinders and said it's something that all communities need to talk about, but the Black community, it's time for us to have this conversation, a real one. Hey, Shanika, Mrs. Jack.
Hey, everybody.
How are you?
I am good. Good morning. Happy Wednesday to everybody. How are you guys doing?
Doing good, doing well.
My beautiful sisters, my beautiful Capricorn sisters.
Yes. So you are going to come today and speak with us about domestic and safety tips and encouragement and how to safely get away. So I'm going to be quiet and, let you go ahead and start your commentary. Go ahead.
Okay. So it's about understanding the dangers of leaving. The one thing that people don't really recognize is that if you haven't been in an abusive relationship, you can't understand what people actually go through. So when you hear people say, "Oh, I would have left," why did they stay so long? I heard that in the Cassie and Diddy trial. You would read the chat, and that's what they were saying. Like, oh, she knew what she was in for. Why was she staying? It's so much deeper than that, because it is like a mental grooming thing. So my 4 tips today are, kind of avoiding the beginning and then what to do in the end. Okay. So at the beginning, number one, you have to understand that abusers are groomers. They have tactics to take you away from your family and make you feel like they are the only ones that love you. That is how it begins. It's a process. It's not a quick process. It takes a long time. They prey on certain people. Either you have low self-esteem, you've been in repeated bad relationships, they know how to pick certain people, or they just test them out. So it's a process of getting you feeling like they're the best thing you've ever had. This is the best relationship you've ever had. And then it goes from there. And eventually they try to take you away from your family members, your friends, anyone that could, potentially be someone you could run to once they start the abuse. And we're talking about men and we're talking about women. The majority of abusers are women towards men. So usually when we talk, that's what we talk about.
You mean men towards women?
Men towards women, yes. Sorry. So when we do talk about, that's usually what we gravitate towards. But there are instances where men are abused by women. They're just more embarrassed about it and don't really say it and report it as much. But that is the beginning of how it happens. You find yourself in a relationship. You don't see it coming. It's not like it's day one. They show you that, hey, I'm violent. I'm an abuser. I'm controlling all these things. No, they have to get you trapped. It takes a long time, just like it takes a long time to fall in love. It takes a long time to groom a person, to train them that, hey, I'm the only person that loves you. Nobody else loves you like me. And it's just a long process. So that's how it starts. So when people say, why did you stay with them so long? Because they didn't show the abuse till year 4 or until I had a baby. Sometimes it triggers when women have babies and the attention is now on the baby, and that triggers something. So that's what the first one is about. It's about understanding that the abusers, they groom you for a period of time.
They do. And unfortunately, we see a lot of older men dating a lot of younger women. And that is by design, because you have to think about the mindset of a 19-year-old. It's something about these 19-year-olds. Shannon Sharp, Diddy, is there some, let me call my 19-year-old nieces and make sure that they ain't dating anyone in their 20s and 30s and 40s and 50s.
But what you mentioned are men with money.
Yeah.
And teenage
power.
mindset.
Money and power.
Power. It's power. You 19. I can remember being 19. I can remember being 19 out here, cute.
Me too. And I wasn't looking at nobody in their 40s and 50s.
But listen here. Diddy wasn't a normal 40-year-old.
Nope.
Diddy was a music producer. Diddy had money.
And she was in the
Diddy
music
had
industry.
power.
Exactly.
She was trying to get into the industry. You never know people's story behind it. She I think I did read where she said, I wasn't interested in no old dude, but she was trying to get into the industry. She was trying to make a name for herself.
Right.
That was the attraction. It probably wasn't him.
I mean, look at,
and he promised her some albums. Think about the mindset of a 17 to 19-year-old girl, right? Her aspirations are, I'm going to be a singer. this is what I want to do for my
or
career.
a model they want to do.
Or a model. Yeah. Right. And you meet P. Diddy and he's promising you all the things that you have dreamed of. That's easy hook, line, and sinker right there, because he doesn't really have to do much because she wants what he has to offer. Even though it turned because she only got like one album done, but that was the grooming process.
But it was already
another one.
Once she was in it, she was in it, you know, right. And she was young, manipulated, and afraid to get out. And that can be, and I'm gonna let you say something because I know I saw you was about to say something, but the content can also be a younger girl with an older man who has money, who's well established. That could be her downfall, being that he's spending money on her, he's taking her shopping, he's putting her in nice cars, he's putting her
flying her all over the world, and you know, it's
showing her a different life.
He don't even gotta be a P. Diddy. It could be just, and it can go for a woman. An old woman can groom a young man too.
Absolutely,
make him feel like that. So it's crazy. But go ahead.
What's the term? Cougars, is that the term? For the older women and the younger men, it's a cougar, right?
All I can see is worms. This entire scenario, nothing but worms. Worms.
We are old school. That's what they used to say. Them old men gonna give you worms, really. You ain't had to tell me nothing else after that.
You didn't have to tell me nothing. As soon as my grandma said, "Don't you go out with them old men? They're gonna give you worms," and I was like, "Worms, Grandma?"
We scared easily back then.
Okay.
You know,
I listened to Grandma because
me
Grandma
too. My safety of my body.
Worms.
You
have to think about it, you know.
We were like, no, sir.
Yeah.
You are old, you know, but
old.
We wish that these young ladies were taught, because some people really have dropped the ball as far as parenting, teaching their daughters, you know, social media is a facade. You know, it's not what you think it is. It's not all glitz and glamour and BBLs and all men want the same shaped woman. You're supposed to strive to go to college and get your own and have your own, so no man can treat you disrespectfully. But we have to get,
but
in your kind of way. You're right.
But they can fall easily into that loophole. Like I said, like even though some of those men are older, some of them don't look old, because they may dress younger. They may have that, you know, crowd, that groupie crowd of younger people. I mean, they tricks. Did
you say that goofy crowd?
No, I said that crowd of younger people. Groupies.
Oh, I thought you said goofy. The younger.
Groupies. That's all I see is worms.
You still see worms?
I still see worms.
I wouldn't have seen no worms. I probably would have saw some money because back then, baby, let's get that money.
I mean,
let me add this part. Imagine a young girl that, you know, she's enthused with the glitz and glamour, and you have no man in your life, no father man in your life. Exactly. That may be something as well that attracts her.
Daddy issues.
You might try to say, "Hey, I'm gonna guide you with your life." And
back when she got with him, he wasn't. Priscilla just made a. He wasn't a worm age. He wasn't like. You know, somebody sweating, old, sitting around. But back then, think about how long ago that was.
If you go back, 30s, right?
Yeah, he's
early.
50s.
He's a year older than I am.
So early 30s.
And Cassie is my daughter's age.
I get it.
Worms.
No, you wouldn't have seen it that way.
Kitty is not letting go of these
I'm gonna
worms.
disagree because you know I don't. When I say worms, I'm thinking gray, sweaty, and stinking looking.
Look like a sugar daddy. That's what
they'd be like, "Come here."
When I say worms, I feel like if I'm old enough to be your mama,
you can be my papa. Yeah.
But
I know it's old enough to have you.
I get what you're saying, but I'm just thinking of.
But I understand, you know,
I'm thinking on another level of that age group.
Yeah, when you see the glitz and the glitter, and he got money, and
you
he's got a car.
Yeah, it's actually very easily to play on what the young girls want. And all they got to do is take a look at their social media and see what they strive or aspire to do and be, and just throw
Very
everything
easy to groom.
at them. I will fly you out. I will bring you around my big old house.
All your
Spend this money on you.
come.
Show you the type of life you could possibly have one day. That's all it takes. And so we have to actually
your friends could
have
come
more
eat
conversations.
lobster, get on the
Exactly.
yacht, party on the yacht. I mean, that's all. Like, I remember going to Miami as a young girl. It was like, wow, this is Miami, you know.
So one of the dangers that we have to teach our girls, our young girls, is it's very easy to get caught up in that life, and it's really easy to get trafficked.
It is. It's very easy
caught
to get
up.
trafficked.
Gotta talk to
not
them.
see it coming. Right. Talk to them and have those hard conversations, because I'd rather have a hard conversation than to be looking for my child or calling the news and trying to figure out where my
Me
baby
too.
is, you know?
Yeah.
All right. So that was number one, understanding, you know, how groomers and abusers, their mindsets and how they start everything off. Okay. Number two, one thing that when you are teaching your daughters and sons as well about dating is to be cautious of the red flags in the beginning. You know, you can't be so admired and, just throwing anything at me it's going to boost my head up. You have to leave when you feel uncomfortable, and don't worry about other people's feelings. Sometimes you get these young girls who are so intrigued with having somebody that they're just willing to overlook so many things. And those things that they're willing to overlook are red flags that show you that someone maybe is controlling. And a lot of times when we hide all the things and stuff them to the side, we're like, oh, I should have picked up on that later, because them telling me what I cannot eat or you telling me what I cannot wear was a sign of something that I should have paid attention to. So now we're a year in, and now I can't even pick out my own clothes. And that's another, method of
Control.
In control. Right. So we have to make sure that we are seeing these things and not ignoring them in the beginning. It's really easy to get out of something quicker when you just met somebody and they make you feel weird. Listen to your intuition. We have women's intuition, whatever men's intuition is. Listen to that. If it does not seem right or it feels weird or wrong, it probably is.
It is.
It probably
It's
is.
not a probably. Let's stop giving our intuition the benefit of the doubt. It is weird. And Reggie just put in the comments, Diddy asked Cassie to call him, but she calls her grandfather. Like I said, worms.
Pop, P-pop or something like that. Pop is what it was. He did. I read that about the trial. Yeah.
Now that's weird. That's weird. That would have been
creepy.
like, what?
That should have been a turnoff. That should have been a turnoff, but she was already
that's what you call a red sign, a sign. Like,
that's a billboard. That's a red billboard right there.
Worms.
What? But she was already into it by then.
I think, yeah, she was already
Once you're deep in it, it's so hard to get out of it. Like, but yes, when you leave, if you feel uncomfortable, because if you haven't gotten a week into it, hopefully that person has not formed this bond or this controlling aspect of thinking that you're theirs, and you can just leave and cut it. They ain't made it to crazy level yet. So, and then also along with that, never detach from your friends and family. So, like I said earlier, it's one of the process of removing you from everybody that you feel like loves you, right? That is something they will start telling you. Never do that. You know your friends and family. You trust your friends and family. Nobody can tell me that my family don't love me. Regardless if you're the first person ever coming to me because I'm threatening to leave you, and you say, oh, your family don't love you, they're just jealous of you and things like that. And think about that situation, because it's a trick. Okay. That's what that is. All right. So number 3, do not cover up bruises. Make a police report immediately, and always believe your friend or family member when they tell you they have been abused. I think it's one of the worst things in the whole domestic violence situation in abusers they get put on trial sometimes. You know, when you take it to the police, they want you to provide all this proof as if you had the chance to say, hold on, while you're abusing
Let me
me,
go get my camera.
let me record it. Let me take this picture. Let
That's
me go get this
disgusting
witness.
to me.
And it's sad that is what seems like it's so required of the world today to be believable instead of just my word, this black eye. You know, they will interrogate you harder than the FBI when you're just trying to
People
go in and trying to.
ask you questions like, "What did you do?
What
Why
did
you
you
do
wear?
that?"
Well, what did
That's
you
not
do
a
to
Have
question.
on?
What did you do to
That
make me
shouldn't even
mad?
never be a
Yes,
question.
exactly. But they want this, and you're not going to always have it. Is the point? But it's the way the world is today. They want you to prove your innocence. You're supposed to be proven guilty, not proven innocent, but that's what they want you to do. Go ahead.
Didn't Miss Cassie take some pictures of herself? That's
I
another
saw those
They
thing.
showed
today.
showed
She
the pictures
did.
today.
Now she was
Yes,
smart enough to keep a little
She did do that.
diary
Yep.
of pictures of her bruises.
Did you see her eye?
yes, the gash in her eye.
The gash, because I saw one that was fresh and one that was healed, and then on her lower butt.
And she's
And
so pretty.
she's gorgeous. And the sad part is, any man would love to treat her correctly, but it's the trap. It's not that these women willingly do these things. She could have been with anybody. It was because she was already trapped into it, and he's an abuser. People are scared to leave abusers. But yes, please try to get as much evidence as you can. Get your friends to take pictures. Send them to somebody you trust. Take the pictures yourself if you have to, and email them or text them to somebody. And then if you can, go to the police. Make a report. Because even if somebody doesn't believe you, you took the effort of going to make a police report, and it is on record. So if God forbid something happens, it's on record at the very least. And make sure you believe people first. Don't try to interrogate your friend. If your friend comes to you and tell you you've been abused and you start questioning them harder than the FBI, what type of friend or family member are you? Good.
I'm the type of friend that says, where's the shovel at? We're gonna take a quick break. It is time for a break. You are listening to Our Plugs, the community connection on WKRA 92.7 The Change. We've got to take a quick commercial break. We will be right back. Get the shovel.
Welcome to Morningstar Boutique, where the sun is shining and the style is all about you, your beauty, confidence, and individuality. Whether that's your perfect summer dress, a chic jumpsuit, or outfit you didn't know you needed, we've got you. Stop by ourplugs.com and check us out. We'll see you soon.
And I'd like for you to do one more thing for me. Hold up two fingers. This is you, and this is me, and the space that exists between us should be filled with value.
Equal, a global human initiative, and its value identity model.
Welcome to a world that sparkles. Sparkle Kicks LLC is your one-stop shop for a wide variety of customized items. So bling out your Crocs, customize that cutting board, get you custom dominoes. Stop by and we will customize your order today. We can be found on Etsy and Our Plugs LLC. I'll be waiting to customize your order. All you need to do is place it.
And we are back. You're listening to Our Plugs, the community connection. Today we are talking about domestic violence, safety tips, and how to leave successfully, how to be safe when you decide to leave. We're just talking. We're chopping it up. We've got our girl, Mrs. Jack, here. Go ahead, Miss Jack. Let's go ahead and finish up so we can pull up Reggie. Go ahead.
Okay. So my last part is the most important part, and what the world, I wish I could be talking to the entire world right now, but everybody needs to know this. The most dangerous part of leaving an abuser is actually the leaving part. And it's the scariest part for everybody involved, because once you make a plan to leave, that person that is your abuser may snap and get violent. There are so many stories of abusers that unalive the entire family.
Yeah.
follow, start stalking, start abusing, get violent, doing everything they can, because in their mind it's like, you will never leave me. If I can't have you, nobody else will have you. So that is the most scariest part. And you speak with police officers, they tell you a domestic violence situation is one of the most dangerous calls that they can ever come to because of emotions. We don't have control of our emotions in certain times when in matters of the heart is what they call it. Crimes of passion, which is what it is. But it's just the most dangerous time. So if you do have a friend or someone that you know that is trying to plan a getaway, I call it a getaway, make sure you don't tell anybody about your plans. Don't tell anybody except someone you trust. Because the less people you tell, the less people that may get it back to the person that you are trying to leave, and it minimizes the danger of leaving. So for the people that say, hey, why didn't they leave? Leaving is the most dangerous time. When Cassie tried to leave, the man chased her with a towel on. The one time she found the bravery to leave, he chased her down, beat her, kicked her in the head. On TV, we saw it, and this is in a hotel. You know, he was in a towel because it was in a shower, or she picked the time for him taking a shower to leave. She thought that was her moment, and I don't know what made him realize she was leaving, but we all saw what happened, because that's exactly what actually happens when you try to leave. You may get assaulted, worse, or unalive. So it's so scary and so dangerous. So that is why some people don't leave.
And let me add to this conversation. So I have a friend, God rest her soul, and she had left, and he unalived her. And I know the story isn't. Unfortunately, it's common to a lot of us. We know someone who unfortunately passed at the hands of someone who they may have once loved and married and had children with. Go to the police. Go to the police. When you are going to leave, you go and you get assistance from the police. Because you can get someone, say you have, hey, me and my girlfriends are going to pack us up, we're going to leave. You never know if they may have cameras in the house. You never know. And he may come back and hurt everybody in the house. Go get you a escort out. Get as much as you can. Start packing. Start taking stuff before your actual escort. But when you leave, you go with the police and you get you a restraining order and you stay gone. Because if you go back, unfortunately, the statistics are not in your favor that you'll actually make it. So please, ladies and gentlemen, find you a safe space, get law enforcement involved, get you a restraining order, go to the pew pew range, protect yourself and your babies. Because I have things to do tomorrow, and it's not going to another funeral isn't one that I want to. So please, ladies, take the time. I know it's hard. Unfortunately, I've been there.
So many
To the police.
stories.
It's so many stories. But
So many people.
I think Cassie's was the worst that I've ever heard. I've never heard anything like that before.
I never heard the amount of disgust and that man did to that, or that animal did to that young lady. So definitely take Kitty's advice. Be careful, please.
Be careful, and get assistance.
And don't tell nobody.
Don't tell nobody. And you want to, of course, just involve maybe a girlfriend or a guy friend, but you never know. And you would have to live with the thought of this person hurting someone you care about.
That would be the next move, that they'll go to that person who you love, your mom, your dad. They'll go
and they threaten those people first.
They do.
Yeah.
So go get you. Baby, I will tell anybody. I don't care who it is. go get a restraining order, and then go to the
Right, this
artillery.
paper.
And make sure the police are aware of your family need
Yes.
protection, you know, because this person may be dangerous. So, hey, I need somebody to be guarded at my parents' house. He threatened or she threatened to do something to my family. You know, they don't know where I'm at. I'm going to lay low. I'm going to be gone.
Yes.
And I'll talk to them when I can talk to them.
Yes. And then my final thing, and we need to go ahead and bring Reggie up because we're, you know, it's getting almost time, but I'm going to say this. Check your car. Air tags are real. Make sure, because some people are slick. Air tags, you know, they got a great way of, nowadays they have all the technology to follow you, to, you know, put a camera up. You may think it's just a piece of art. You may have a camera. So be smart, be diligent, and when you're ready, get up out that situation. And good luck to you, especially if you have babies. All right, let's go ahead and bring Shanika. Thank you so much for sharing.
Good topic, man.
Very good topic, and it's important.
Need to talk about it.
Yeah.
Hey, Reggie.
Hey, everybody. DJ Kitty, Miss Morningstar, Miss Jack, and WKRA listening audience. Happy Wednesday, everyone. You know, honestly, guys, I think that we need to do a part 2 of this conversation, just my opinion, because there's a lot to unpack. And I think that this is a paramount issue, safety. I mean, think about it. You wouldn't even drink a glass of water if you didn't think that it was safe.
For real.
Everything that we do, we lead with the assumption that it's safe. So what I'm saying is that safety is first. And, you know, the thing that I'm always advocating for, because my entire platform is dedicated to that, is safety, is that we have to become our own safe spaces for ourselves. And the 3 questions that I ask when I'm doing seminars and, you know, immersive engagements with, you know, with people who are interested in learning more about their value is, the first question is, can you love what you don't value? The second question is, will you protect what you don't value? And the third question is, will you invest in and build what you don't value, including yourself? And so I think that it is imperative to understand that there are 2 types of power, okay? As human beings, we desire to experience power. It's natural to who we are. But there are 2 types of power. There's a functional power where that power emanates from within us. And then there is a dysfunctional power where we are driven and have a desire to take power from others. All right. So again, try to always, you know, move yourself into a space to where your value and your validation is coming from you. Because the moment that you seek validation, and and again, it's natural for us. We like compliments, right? We like, succeeding. We like, and that's also normal, but try not to put your dreams and, your personal validation in terms of validating who you are. Don't seek that in external places. Don't seek that outside of yourself, because that needs to come from you. Because the moment I'm depending on you to validate me, I am putting myself in a possibly dangerous situation.
You are.
Even if it's a situation where maybe you don't physically harm me, but if I'm looking to you to validate me and you don't, that's going to hurt me. So again, even it's even dangerous emotionally. So, there's so much that we need to address with respect to this. And let me just say this to the men that are listening. The greatest demonstration of power is self-control. When you can control yourself, your emotions, your reactions, your actions, then nothing exterior to you can control you.
I have a
I'll
question.
say that again. I'm sorry.
No, say it again. Say it again.
I was just going to say that again. The greatest demonstration of power is self-control. And a man who is, I know that we have these terms in our society that are floating, that are popular, alpha male. Alphas alpha males don't bully people.
Right.
There you go.
Alpha
They don't
males
call themselves alpha male either.
Exactly. You know, I don't have to prove that I have a nose. I don't go around in society going, look, I can breathe. I have a nose. No, I know it's there. I don't have to prove it to anyone.
Yeah.
When you understand your power, you don't feel the need to prove it to anyone. You understand that you're in possession of it and you have it.
Mm-hmm.
And so my point is this: an alpha male is a man who understands his power. He exercises self-control. He also understands his physical capability. He understands that he can do damage physically, but he chooses peace instead, because that is the better path. And he also encourages, creates an environment, and supports others around him to also achieve self-control.
Yeah.
That is what an alpha is.
And that's strength. That
is true power.
That's being a husband and a man, and
that's being a real man. Yeah.
Is when you're setting your ego aside and you're truly pouring into your family and you're pouring into yourself. Not, I'm gonna bully you and make you do what I tell you to do. That's not being an alpha. That's being a bully and a punk.
Being an alpha is empowering others.
There you go.
Not stripping power and demeaning people, and that's not what an alpha is. That's not what power is. Even the Bible says, and Martin Luther King said, the greatest among you, the most powerful among you, is the servant.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of power in learning how to control your emotions.
That's
what stops a lot of men or type A personality, type of alpha males. Like their president does not have that.
That's a prime example.
You just said he does not have, and to see him as strength is delusional.
Well, again, because like I said, the dysfunctional demonstration of power is to take it from others.
Exactly.
The healthy demonstration of power.
That's why we always talk
control
about
yourself.
I'm sorry, Kitty. That's why we always talk about how powerful the mind is. The mind is definitely in control of everything, and how we feel, how we react, how we, it's just the brain, the power of the brain. That's why when you are dating or you are in a relationship, you should be attracted to the person's mind and how it moves,
or not what they can do for you, but actual.
Yes.
But let me ask you, do you think that an abuser, someone who is physically abusive, it's a form of mental illness? What's your thought?
Absolutely. Again, it's dysfunction. So an illness is a malfunction. It's a dis-ease. Okay. Health is ease. Unhealthy is dis-ease. So dysfunction is unhealthy. Unhealthy is sick.
Yeah.
And so absolutely it is. Go ahead. I'm sorry,
but not to the point where it could be a defense, though, right? Like a mental illness. I think what Kitty was saying is like maybe it's a problem that you have in your mind. It's something you still allow yourself to do to somebody, not something like a mental health issue where
it could be mental.
It's a mental health issue. It's a mental health issue.
Think about it like this.
I don't want people to be abusers and feel like they can go to court and say,
no.
It's not that level. That's what I'm saying. I just want to distinguish between that level of mental abuse
it's
and
different.
Okay.
It's still the same
There are
because
different,
you
there are
can be
different levels of it.
mental.
Yeah.
Yes, you can have a
Hmm.
mental illness. We don't know what happened to that monster and be a monster. What happened to him as a child? What
Right.
trauma
Be like this.
happened? What in his brain caused it to switch? Because we're not born
Violent.
to be violent or to be hateful.
Right. It
No,
is.
There's
it's not within
something
Taught.
time. Yes.
that
Right.
could have switched in the brain caused by other harmful adults in his life who raised. That's why I kind of wanted to hear what his mother had to say. Just wanted to know. And I'm not the person that blames
His mother.
parents for all. I don't believe in blaming parents for everything that their children turn out to be, because it's not always the fault of a parent.
Right.
But there is something that she could have put herself in a situation that allowed him to see some things from other adults that were in the room that could have switched his way of thinking, because he does not think like a rational person. He does not think like a normal person. And to me, and I'm not a doctor, but I feel like that's a form of mental illness. And it doesn't mean you get off.
Okay. That's what I want to do.
No,
Okay.
I don't see it as
No.
a defense. No.
Allow me to interject. You're right, Miss Morningstar, and let me give you some context. Do you guys remember the movie that Denzel Washington starred in, American Gangster?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and remember his
Frank
mentor was Bumpy Johnson,
Mm-hmm.
right? He was Frank Martin. Well, in real life, Puffy's dad was an associate of Denzel's character in that movie.
Sure was. Puff Daddy's father was a gangster.
And so he also had his own
Yes, I
crew.
read that.
Okay, so when you talk about what he was exposed to and his mindset and some of the things that he, may have been indoctrinated to, again, I think that provides a small window into understanding. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. And the other thing that I'd like to say to our audience, and especially to our young women, watch how the person that you're getting to know, watch how they treat service people. Watch how they engage with just passersby on the street. If they're extremely demeaning or reactive, that is an indication.
That's something.
That's a dead giveaway right there. And don't dismiss it. Understand. And I'm going to say this and I'll land. Did you get it? Understand that your intuition is your internal navigation system. Trust it like your GPS, because it is.
Rarely.
It's your divine GPS. Okay, I'm sorry, DJ Kitty.
No. I was agreeing with you. I was agreeing with you 1,000%, because when we walk through this journey, you have to be mindful and realize that not everybody had the same upbringing. I had heard that over the years, but I heard it over the years about his father.
Yeah.
But now that this has come out and you just brought it back, it makes a lot of sense, because what did he see as a child growing up?
Exactly. What was his example?
Exposed to?
What was his program?
Kids
Right.
are very, at a young age,
Impressionable.
and
Yes.
impressionable.
Yes.
And what they see is what
They're
they cling
sponges.
to.
They're sponges. Yes.
They're
Yes.
sponges. If it doesn't get corrected, maybe in their, as they start growing up, and maybe they start seeing other things that will correct it, they latch on to
They
that.
continue on.
And it keeps going. The cycle continues, right?
Exactly. It's a program.
Same thing with alcohol abuse, and if you grow up in a home where daddy hits mommy, or where both of them are drinkers, you have a higher tendency to do it yourself if you don't get it corrected. Like Ms. Morningstar said, if you just don't like the taste of alcohol, you might just not do it. But if you see that, you think that's what's normal, you think that's what's right. So you go to another family and be like, they don't drink all the time.
Right.
Do this over here.
It's rare. It's rare that some people flip the switch and be like, I never do that. My mother was a drug abuser. My dad was a drug abuser. They drank alcohol. They party. I would never do that. It's
Right.
rare you see people do that, but there are people that do that.
There
They
are
will
people.
go
I know
Exactly.
complete
people who
opposite. I know
refuse.
people personally who
Me
went
too.
complete opposite of what
Complete
they grew
opposite.
up. You would never knew they grew up that way.
Yep.
Because
Yeah,
it
I'm
taught them either I want to be like this or I want to
I'm
be
not.
exactly not like that.
exactly.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
teach
To
them one
your
or two lessons. Yeah.
to your point, Miss Morningstar, I'm one of those individuals.
See?
The examples that I saw, I was like, okay, I know not to do that because that doesn't work.
Yes.
But please
I'm one of the
understand that.
non-smokers in my family, but everybody smokes. Most of them
Mhm.
smoke. And I was like, my mom, my dad, all of them, but I just didn't like it. So, yeah. I'm sorry.
And also, please understand that everything that you encounter, especially if you are encountering it on a regular basis, that's a program, that's an app. See it as an app that is getting downloaded into your operating system,
And
right?
it becomes a
And
habit.
so that information then downloads into you.
Yeah.
Okay, and then it becomes it becomes your program. It's not just their program, it becomes your program. And we're all operating out of a program.
We are.
Just
All of
like
our
hate.
behaviors are a program.
Just like hate.
All of it.
Mm-hmm.
So again, look at your apps. Maybe there are some apps that you need to uninstall.
You better say that.
Uninstall
You
the app.
better go get it cleaned. Okay.
Yeah, we need to uninstall. Maybe there's some apps that we need to uninstall. If you're seeking, for others external to you and other situations and people to validate who you are, your value, that you need to uninstall that app.
Mm-hmm.
And you need to download value identity. You need to begin to identify your value and to understand that your value is not a variable, it is a constant. And begin to, again, you can find my website on ourplugs.com, the equal universe. And you can begin to, understand why you're valuable, because society is essentially set up to prevent us from discovering all of the reasons why we are valuable.
You're
But
right.
in my website, basically, you can find all the reasons why you are. And even there's a way to calculate your value. So engage with us, reach out to Our Plugs, sign up, become a member, use the resources available. You can email me. It's so interesting, and I'll land with this. I met a young lady in the airport, and I sat next to her because I was doing a layover before my flight here. And the bartender asked if we were together. And her response was, "Yes, we are, because we're Black." And I was like, hearing those words, I mean, and even now I'm getting emotional. We have to claim each other.
We do.
I love
We
that
have
she
to look
said that.
out. Isn't that amazing?
That is amazing.
And listen to this. We are together. Do you guys live in the same the United States that I live in?
Yes.
You guys live in the same way. We are here. We are together because we are here together.
Yeah. Yeah.
We have to start claiming each other.
The
And you're
connection
right,
is so real.
Absolutely.
And it's
That was
so
a revelation
needed.
to me.
Wow, that was amazing.
I know it was a light bulb, but we always say, and we've been saying, that he gives us what we need exactly when we need it.
Absolutely.
He allows us to see the things that we need to see when we need to see it. He allows us to go through the things that we need to go through. Some of it may be crazy and okay, I can't make heads or tails of this, but at the end of the day, you had to be there for a reason.
Absolutely.
It's part of your journey.
I agree.
Those who are listening, I hope that you take away from today's discussion that you are valuable and no one has the right to touch you and no one has the right to hurt you. No one has that right. Not even your parents. No one. No one has the right to abuse anyone.
And also, I'm sorry, DJ Katie.
We as African American Black people who have lived in a society where we have endured, and our ancestors have endured so much abuse. We aren't doing this anymore. You know, unfortunately, this is coming out about Diddy and Cassie, but it had to, so that we can have this conversation.
Exactly.
Because there may be another young lady out here thinking
needs
and
to hear it.
living just
Exactly.
like, or something similar, who needs to hear and get away.
Exactly.
And if that is you, please reach out to us. We want to help. We want to help. I don't want people to say, "Oh, well, they're just on the radio." Baby, you send me an email, I'm going to respond.
You
I'm
can
going
come
to
to
do
my live
everything
and have
I
a whole
can.
conversation with me.
But let's talk about it. Let's see, what resources do you need? What help do you need? What city are you in?
Exactly.
How can we help you? Because this isn't normal. And everyone deserves a better life. Everyone does. I don't care who you are. Well, I don't know, MAGA. I'm kidding. Let me stop.
Everybody deserves peace
Even MAGA.
in their life, in their home.
But please also understand, you guys, listening audience, that there is there is a necessity for us not to make the choices to put ourselves in situations where we are placing ourselves at risk.
Yep.
Again, begin to learn about your value. If you have programs, if you have tendencies, if you're always looking for other people to validate you, that is something that is internal work that you need to do. And so begin to value yourself and begin to build your own value so that you're not seeking value from others and validation from others in a way as a necessity to validate who you are, so that again you are keeping yourself safe and you are making choices that are driving you to places that are safe for you as opposed to places that are not.
Can't hear you, Kitty.
Absolutely. Any last words, Mrs. Jack, before our show?
Can y'all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. I thought y'all were saying you couldn't hear me.
No, it was me.
Okay. I'm sorry. Just my last word of advice was the last tip that I gave you guys. For domestic abuse victims, please get a record, get any kind of evidence. Don't tell everybody your plans to leave. Talk to somebody that you trust. And just for the world to understand that leaving is one of the most dangerous times. So please don't be hard on someone that has been abused. Listen to them and believe them the first time.
Absolutely. Thank you, Mrs. Jack. Reggie, any last words?
The best way to survive an abusive situation is to avoid abusive situation. Do everything you can to avoid it.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. I agree. Mrs. Morningstar?
I'm going to just say this. This is the affirmation I started with. Never regret a day in your life. Good days bring you happiness, and bad days bring you experience.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I will
say, you guys have a wonderful day.
Yes, ma'am. I will say this. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you to our YouTube chat family, our family in Holly Springs and in Memphis, Tennessee. You guys have a wonderful day. We care about you. We are doing this for you. It is about community. Enjoy this day that God has given you and make it a beautiful one. See you guys tomorrow.
Everybody.
Bye. You are valuable.
It's DJ Kitty
and Miss Morningstar.
We are here from Our Plugs, the Community Connection, and we will be your new morning host on WKRA 92.7 The Change.
Yes, we will be broadcasting Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time.
We'll also be streaming on YouTube at Our Plugs LLC.
Be sure to tune in.
Hey y'all, it's